Okay, all right. You are welcome to the Evolve Conference 2021. This is the second edition. I am super excited. Now, Evolve Conference is a leadership and human capacity development conference. Is Evolve Conference is set to give you a meta transformation that will bring your vision into a reality. You are set and you are in for a total transformation. I hope you are here with your neighbors, with your friends. We have over 5+ nations who are connected with us live now. Right now, I'm going to introduce our moderator for the Evolve Conference 2021. Just sit back and let's listen to our profile.
McAnn Obize doubles as a corporate MC and event host for corporate, religious, and social events. She is a trained and certified Masters of Ceremony from Talk Academy, Africa's #1 training institute for Masters of Ceremony. She loves to color the special moments of people's lives, and she achieves this using her unique skill of communication and events anchoring. Her works as an MC are unique because she's also an inspirational speaker, specialized at motivating people with thought-provoking words and ideas. She doesn't fail to keep her audience super engaged while delivering the goals and objectives of the event organizers. She has worked with different reputable brands such as TEDx, Suleja, NTA Lokoja, Afroseed, the First Lady of Kogi State, Anambra Talent Show, National Youth Peace Summit 2018 to 2019, International Youth Day, amongst others. She could turn your event into one that is not only talked about for the beauty and glamour, but for flawless service where guests are leaving inspired and elated. With a round of applause, shall we make welcome McAnn Obize?
Okay, welcome back. I hope you have read, you have listened to our profile, and then I will hand over now to our moderator for the conference. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are joining from, and welcome to the Evolve Conference 2021. I am super excited. Yes, I go by the name McAnn, and in case you don't know how to spell, it is M to the A to the C to the A to the double N E. And it is a great delight and a great pleasure to be your moderator for today's conference. Okay, so as you all know, this is the second edition of the Evolve Conference, and this is one of Africa's most largest and most sought after leadership conference in the whole of Africa. So if you can hear me loud and clear, I want you to drop in the comment section. I want to acknowledge as many persons who are currently online. So let me know, tell me your name and tell me where you're joining from. I want to acknowledge as many persons, whether you're joining from Uganda, you're joining from Ghana, from Nigeria, or from wherever you're joining from. Just let me know in the comment section. So are we ready? So Daniel Onyewa says, good evening, Ma. Yes, Daniel, good evening. Where are you joining from? So we're going to do something shortly. Once is 6:40, we're going to have the first speaker on ground. But at least for the next 5 minutes, we can chit chat and get set as this event on kicks off. All right, so I can see people online already. So just tell me where you're joining from. Just tell me where you're joining from, and then yes, you can also tell me what is your expectation from the Evolve Conference 2021. All right, so I'm adding something else. All right, so thank you so much. I have Adiola Olajiri. All right, I have Faith Akinwade, and she says I am Senior Ambassador Faith. Okay, and then I also have Ernest Quente. Please forgive me. I am so Nigerian, and I may not be able to pronounce some of your names, but please, I would want you to pardon me in case I mispronounce your name. All right. Hope I'll be pardoned. All right, so Ernest says, I am Ernest from Cameroon. Good evening, Ernest. How is Cameroon today? It's such a delight to have you at the Evolve Conference 2021. All right, Daniel says, I am from Nigeria, Lagos, precisely. Thank you so much, Daniel. I'm going to keep acknowledging I have Precious Ntipo. Okay, I hope I got that right. It says, my name is Precious from Ibadan, Nigeria. Okay, Faith Akinwale is representing Nigeria. All right, and then I have DKT. It says, I am Tang Durand from Cameroon. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to do something. I want everyone currently live here to begin to share this video, share this broadcast. Get your friends, get your family, get your relative, because this is this is the best place they should be at this point in time. This is a mental transformation conference. One thing we're expecting is a mind shift. You know, whenever a change wants to happen to anyone, to any individual, to any society, to any place, it first starts with the mind. And that is why we are here at the Evolve Conference, because definitely we are going to experience a mental transformation. All right, Daniel says, nice to meet you. Yes, pleasure all mine. All right, thank you so much, Daniel. So what are your expectations for this conference? You know, I was speaking with the convener, David Akinwale, and he said this is the second time this conference is actually holding, although they experienced a little break since the transition. And for this year 2021, the conference has been themed the re-emergence. The re-emergence. Now, when you listen to the word, the theme of the title of the conference, the Evolve Conference. Evolve is all about growing. And then we're also looking at the re-emergence. So what is your expectation for tonight, from day one? So I'm going to give you a highlight of what to expect from day one. Okay, so today we're going to be having 3 speakers who will be joining us shortly. So the first one, we're going to have the convener, that is Mr. David Akinwale, and he'll be talking about the re-emergence and you. Okay, I still have more persons joining. Peter Uwana. Peter, welcome. Where are you joining from? Please, when you're coming in, let me know the country you're coming from so that I can acknowledge your country live on this broadcast. So, thus far, I already have those from Cameroon. Do I have anyone from Uganda? Not yet. All right, I think I have more Nigerians and Cameroonians on the broadcast. So I want more persons to join. I'm expecting to see someone from Uganda. I'm expecting to see people from Ghana. I'm expecting to see people from Congo, from Niger, and the rest of it. All right, so I'm giving you a highlight of what to expect today. So we have the first speaker, who is the convener for this conference, David Akinwale. He will be talking about re-emergence and you. And then secondly, we have the second speaker, Mary Ogudimo, and she'll be talking about positioning for the corporate world. And then the last but not the least, because within this 3 days conference, a lot has been packed to make sure you re-emerge, to make sure that a lot of leaders begin to re-emerge, to rediscover their identity and to emerge. All right, so I have Ojubanre Boluwaji. He says, good evening. It is nice to be here. I am Boluwaji Ojubanre from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much, Boluwaji, for coming and being on the broadcast. And then finally, we would also have today Mr. Johnson Abley, and he will be talking about think, go deep, and re-emerge. So yes, this is the highlight of what to expect in today's conference. And right about now, it is 6:45. Remember, please share this broadcast. Get your friends, get your family, let them all come on board, because right about now, the plane is about to take off, and we're about to take off. Are you ready? Are you ready for the plane that is about to kick off? Are you ready? Let me know in the comment section if you are ready for the journey to re-emergence. I can see your comments. Let me know. Are you ready? I'm the pilot. I'm about to take off. I'm about to take off. Are you ready? Let me know in the comment section. And right about now, we will be making way for the convener, our first speaker, Mr. David Akinwale, as he will be taking the first session. All right, I'm going to play his profile right about now. And after that, I'm going to go behind the scene. But no, I am not away. I am right here with you, but you're not going to see my face after the broadcast, okay? So don't wonder, oh, McAnn, where are you? Where did you go to? No, I am right here with you because I am ready to re-emerge. So right about now, let me play the profile of David Akinwale.
David Akinwale is a leadership coach, corporate trainer, speaker, and HR professional. He is the founder and executive director of Alpha Global Leadership Academy. It's a personal development and leadership platform to raise global transformational and exceptional leaders. He's also the convener of the Evolve Conference, a leadership and human capacity development conference. His purpose for leadership, productivity, and knowledge has led him to create an online community that serves as a platform that is committed to raising and building young leaders who will bring total transformation to their personal lives and in their respective industry. He has raised over 600 plus leaders in over 20 plus countries across Africa and beyond who are living purposefully. In the year 2019, he was awarded as one of the Young Leader Rising Star Award because of his immense contribution to youth and community development in Nigeria. The conference where he was awarded was inaugurated by Jami Pajol International at the International Youth Summit in Owerri, Imo State, and other awards. David Akinwale has been featured as a trainer, speaker, and facilitator via online seminars and training across tertiary institutions, religious organizations, Live Your Dreams African Community, Okin FM, radio station, and several other communities and blogs. He is a professional volunteer for organizations like the Uban King Foundation, Social Good Lagos, Future Leadership Conference, Free Conference, and so on. David Akinwale is passionate about raising men, women, and youth of spirituality, purity, integrity in character, enlightened and successful. He has 3 books to his credit. Join me with a round of applause as we welcome David Akinwale.
Hello, 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 hello. I am super excited. We have this conference, the Evolve Conference 2021. Now you are here. You have listened to the moderator. Without wasting our time, the topic before me is the re-emergence and you. The re-emergence and you. Now, there is something powerful I want to share with you this evening, very briefly, and I want you to make sure that you put aside every distraction and you pay attention. Now, there's something in the Bible, in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, from verse 1. I'm drawing life lessons and re-emergence power that can transform your life. Now, the first thing is the God factor. He said, the Spirit of the Lord was upon me. Something came upon him. It was not just there alone. There has been a relationship between him and God. That was Ezekiel. He knows that once God commands, he can do it. So he believed that God will make it happen. That spirit was upon him. Now, there's something you must understand, that your purpose in life must be in accordance with the agenda of God for his governance on earth. Now, the second thing I want you to note is vision. You have heard a lot of things about vision. Now, look at That verse 1, it said the Spirit of God was upon me and he carried me to a valley of dry bones. Now, so many people, they have been bewildered, they have been struck down, they have been depressed, they have been so dry, they are so stuck in their life journey. They don't know what to even do in their business, in their career, in whatever industry you find yourself. But this man, he saw a vision. Vision can only come from God. Vision can only come from God, and it's through the eyes of God you can see a vision. God has designed your life. God is the only one that can give vision to his creation. Now, there's something I want you to know. Vision, it is highly spiritual in nature. Very, very spiritual, and it needs a spiritual eye. This has nothing to do with your background, with your religion. I don't care where you come from, but one thing I'm very sure of, that vision is highly spiritual. There are people who dwell in the level of the spirit and the level of men. They connect, they receive from God, and they give what they hear from God to men on earth. That is where you see, when they talk to you, your life is transformed. When they talk to you, you experience a deep level of wisdom in your life, and there's growth, there's result, because what they teach you, there's transformation in it. Now, there are stages of vision I'm going to share with you very briefly. Number 1 is protocol. Number 2 is the principle. The third thing is the system. The protocol is where you receive the vision, the origin of your vision in life. The principle is how you are going to carry it out. How you are going to write it down, what you have received. You are going to write it down. Now, the system is how you are going to execute. What are the things you need to put in place? There are a lot of things about these 3 stages, but we're not going there today. Vision is your identity in God. I will repeat that statement. Vision is your identity in God. Your mentor, your parent, nobody can give you a life vision. It is only from God. It is only from God. Devil can only influence that vision and turn it into his own agenda, but your vision can only come from God. So take delight a lot in vision, in clarity, and in light. It is a new transition into a new realm, into another realm that inspires innovation. When you enter into the realm of the vision of God for your life, you are going to rematch, because nothing can stop you. You know who sent you. All right? The third thing I want you to note is this. If you look at that verse very well, in verse 4, it said, again, he said to me, prophesy to these dry bones. The value of dry bones is where people are forgotten. It's where they put dead people. Even dust cannot go there. There's no life. They are so dead that nothing good can come out of it again. But you are not on your own. The third thing is the process and the messenger. He said, God said to Ezekiel, he said, prophesy. You need to confess with your mouth. Whatever you think with your heart is what you say with your mouth. So God has to tell him, because he need to confess, he need to say that thing out. He need to prophesy out that command, that instruction, because you are a messenger and there's a process you must go to, and that process is you and God. You must have a relationship. Once again, I tell you, I don't care about your religion or where you come from, but one thing I'm sure of, your relationship with God is very important. In the process of building, you must do the following. Number 1, self-affirmation. That is what happened there. God has to place Ezekiel on self-affirmation. He said, prophesy, talk to these dry bones. They need to rematch. Life need to come into your business. Life need to come into your family, into whatever industry you find yourself. Life must come into that day. Prophesy, I say, it is a command. You don't disobey who sent you, except you don't know who sent you. Another thing is gratitude. What are you grateful for? If you are not grateful to God or for things that has happened in your life, you cannot expect anything else. If you are not grateful for the things that you have received, don't expect results. Gratitude is powerful. It's a key to unlock success. It's a key to prepare your vision to be something that people can plug into, and you begin to see that you yourself, you are not just alone, the carrier of the vision, you have internalized the vision, but people who you are sent to can recognize that vision. Another thing is positive thinking. I'm telling you, Ezekiel knows that what God is saying, and on a human mind, your thinking is not possible. Like value of dry bone, they are so dead, no energy, no life. How can I describe this valley? It's so dry, like nothing good can come out of that thing. It's like a forgotten person. But God says you need to have a positive thinking. If we want to rematch, your mind must think positively. Another thing is worship and communion. This is a very strong weapon. I'm a man of faith. Worship is a strong weapon. There are levels in which you operate beyond the level, beyond the realm of man, because you commune with angels, you commune with the spirit. Another thing you need to note is honor and respect people. You need to place and honor people, because your life mission, your life purpose are for some people attached to you. So you need to honor and respect people that come across your way, no matter the gender, the race. You must respect people. There are teachers that are made for your season. You need to discover them. You need to discover, who am I to learn under? Who are the people to train me, to teach me, to groom me? Remember, number 3 is the process and the messenger. You need to go through the process. You need to be a messenger. You need to serve. Service is not bad. There's nothing bad about service. You must serve people. You must work under someone. You must be under someone's tutelage, under someone's mentorship. Know what you need per time and per season in your life. Don't jump from one place to another. You must follow the instruction of God per times, per season. To stay relevant in your sphere of influence, you must honor God. You must obey the instruction of God. Ezekiel obeyed. That is why the dry bones, they come alive. They reemerge. Their mindset change. What people know them for before is not what they are now, because there has been a reemergence. There is a change. There is a renewal. There is a transformation. Your level of your dealings with God per time determines what you carry and your next level of assignment. Your levels of your dealings with God per time determines the value you carry and your next assignment. I want you to know something. Reemergence starts from your mind. Reemergence starts from your mind. The result you get out of life depends on the information you utilize. The result you're going to get out of life, it depends on the information that you utilize. Number 4 is this: manifestation. Something happened in that Bible. Sorry, in that verse. Okay. He said there was a noise and a rattling, and the bones come alive. In the mind of Ezekiel, I don't say what God asked me to say, and there was a manifestation. And there is a manifestation. God says, as you said this, okay, I'm back. Sorry for the break in transmission. And God said it to do something, and there was a result. When you stayed in your process, there is a proclamation for your destiny by God. It will just happen. It will shock you at the level we God will do it. You will become a voice to bring transformation, not a noise. Ezekiel saw a noise, but God was telling him, you are a voice in that land of Israel. So I'm telling you, the whole of Africa, from any country that you come from, that you will become a voice to bring transformation, not a noise. Then another thing you should note is solitude. Solitude is very powerful. The Spirit of the Lord carried Ezekiel. Now, in your journey in life, in your journey to reemergence, you must understand that you need to be alone sometimes with God, because He's the one that sent you. Because there's sometimes you need to refuel, you need to retreat, you need to go and revamp your energy, you need to go and guard up your loins so that whatever thing is coming at you, whatever life wants to throw at you, you are ready to face it. You are ready to reemerge with everything that you have in store with you. Another thing is this, the burden. There must be a level of burden in your life. Comfort sometimes is good, but there are some things that must happen. For the emergence to occur, there must be a level of discomfort. There must be a body burning inside you. You must have a body before the emergence. God must see something in you that He not begin to deposit His values, is the solution that you need to bring change to your community, to Africa, and to your industry. The last thing is journal. You need to have journal. Have a book where you write your journals. After the vision, God told Ezekiel, He said, write down. Now you are going to go and tell these people, these dry bones that become an exceedingly great army. The first thing you need to know is, who am I? Who are you? You must understand that. Another thing is, what has God given me to do? The third thing is, what has He given me for? To who has He sent me to? Which kind of people? Which industry? The fourth thing is, how am I going to do it? How are you going to do it? And the last thing is the expected result. What are the results that you're expecting? We live on certain principles and miracles we acquire through influence, both from within and without. Before I wrap up my session, I want you to say this affirmation after me. I have built a strong foundation. I will continue to do so. In this way, I will be ready for all additional challenges and building my life have in store for me. I can't wait to see the new beginning that my life will bring forth. Thank you so much. I look forward to staying with you. Over now to the moderator.
Wow, wow, wow. Can we put our hands together for Mr. David Akinwale? Please, can we put our hands together in the comment section? I want to see your hands there in the comment section. Can we put our hands together? Whoa, this is so powerful. This is powerful. Yes, I can see Joshua said, I have built a strong foundation. Can we put our heads together? I want to see the fire emoji in the comment section. If you know you were truly blessed and you learned something, can we put the fire emojis, the hand of applause for David in the comment section? Okay. All right. Okay, yes, I can see people clapping. Yes, yes, yes. That was powerful. You know, David mentioned about the power of vision for reemergence. You can't reemerge without having a strong vision. So that is like my key takeaway. That is my key takeaway. So what is one thing you took away from David's session? Type in the comment section. We're going to do that shortly because once I see the second guest in the waiting room, I'll play her profile and usher her in. So right about now, very soon, we'll be expecting the second guest, but she's not yet in the waiting room. But I want us to interact. What is your key takeaway? What is one point you have taken away from Mr. David's topic where he talked about the emergence and you? All right, Joycelyn says, I have built a strong foundation. Powerful, powerful. That's beautiful. Can we get more feedback? Can we get more feedback? All right, Joshua says, you must have a burden before re-emergence. You must have a burden. So what burden do you currently have? A burden is a strong desire to have a change. You know, while he was talking, it reminded me about Nehemiah. The Bible says Nehemiah was he was serving the king. He was a cupbearer. And despite the fact that he was serving the king, he was comfortable. Imagine, you know, we can liken his work to working with the president. And yet he had a burden for his people. So thank you so much, Joshua. Can we keep that coming? Promise says, before re-emergence occur, there must be a burden. Yes, there must be a burden. Yes, okay. All right, so I need more feedback. What is that one thing you are taking away? Shadrach says, re-emergence starts from the mind. Re-emergence starts from the mind. It all starts from the mind, as far as your eyes can see. And we're not talking about the physical eye. You know, it's also synonymous to the power of vision. Thank you, Shadrach Chilaka. Okay. Boluwaji says, your purpose in life must be in accordance with God's agenda. Powerful, powerful. Can we keep them coming? All right, can we keep that coming? Secondly, you know, this conference is scheduled to last for 2 hours. So before 9 p.m. maximum, we're going to round off. And one thing I'll also be doing, as we keep expecting other speakers, while the session is going on, if you have a question, put it in the comment section, okay? And then I would write it down. So when it's time for question and answer, the speaker can respond to that. Because of our time, Mr. David will not be able to answer to your questions, but then we would see that other speakers who will be coming up would have time to answer to questions. All right, I can see more feedback coming. I can see more feedback coming. Oh, teacher of influence says he came late. Don't worry. The replay is going to be up immediately after the session, so make sure to catch the replay. All right, so we've got you covered. All right, Joshua says, you must know your why before you encounter re-emergence. You must know your why before you encounter re-emergence. And then Promise is saying vision can only come from God, and it is with the eyes of God that you can see vision. Powerful. All right, DKT says, my purpose must be highly correlate. My purpose must highly correlate positively with God's agenda. All right, thank you so much, guys. Keep them coming. Right about now, I'll be going off your screen because our second speaker is live in the building. I'm super excited. And she'll be taking us on the topic, positioning for the corporate world. Positioning for the corporate world. We're expecting that leaders would emerge from this conference and go into different sectors, whether it's the media, whether it's politics, but leaders are going to emerge. So right about now, I'll be playing the profile of the speaker, okay? And after that, she's going to grace the screen, but I'll be right here at the background watching and pinning down your comments. So in case you don't see my face again, know that I am still here with you live and direct. All right, so with a clapping ovation after the speaker's profile has gone on, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to our second speaker for the Re-Emergence Conference 2021.
Her name is Mary Ogundimu, a multiple award-winning speaker, trainer, and coach who specializes in using storytelling and deep content to reconstruct and correct everyday narratives and life experiences. She is a self-conscious, motivated lady passionate about women development and enhancement. She is the founder of the Multi-Woman Network, a youth-led organization that empowers women and the girl child with basic skill sets for maximizing their potentials and becoming global citizens. Every year, she convenes the Multi-Woman Conference, a signature event that brings women from all walks of life to tell their stories, share and profile solutions to issues of economic empowerment and grassroots development for women. She is a member of the Global Social, Economic and Financial Evolution Network. In August 2020, Mary was reappointed the president of the Young African Women Congress Nigerian chapter after serving faithfully in the last 2 years. In the same year, she became a Google Women Will co-lead for Yaba, Lagos. In the last 6 years, Mary worked as a customer service personnel and data analyst, respectively in Access Bank PLC, and later went on to switch career paths to first being an interior designer and later a Google certified digital consultant. Noteworthy to also mention that Mary is a premium event host who holds her expertise in people management, interpersonal relationships, and humor to create unforgettable memories for her clients. Mary started her career as an on-air personality in Unilag FM, presenting on a radio magazine show called On Stage, and also co-hosting the weekly series of interviews on the Ambassadors Radio Show with outstanding entrepreneurs using their stories to inspire over 5,000 youths in Lagos. She is an alumni of the Smile Social Innovators Program, an alumni of the Nemala Chilarams Accelerator Program, a Yali Fellow and alumni, where she served as the Events and Networking Chair for Yali RLC Alumni Nigeria in 2020 and 2021. Mary currently serves as the Programs Manager for OAR&D, a research and development firm helping to build a productive and prosperous Africa, and Project Manager at Otaso, a digital agency in Covenant University. She has been featured in several media houses including TVC Africa, Superscreen TV, Star FM, and Unilag FM, amongst others. She is the author of Suffering and Smiling, a tale of a Lagos bank worker. Other books written by her is Stretch, a book on self-development, The Clarity Handbook, and Productivity Extra. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as we make welcome this multi-dimensional woman, Mary Ogundimo.
All right, Ma'am Mary Ogudimi, it is so exciting. We are excited to have you here at the RE-EMERGENCE Conference 2021. So right about now, I will going off screen, but you can take the floor, and we are excited to have you here. Can you hear me, ma'am? Oh, network. Hello, ma'am.
Am I on now?
Yes,
Okay.
you are on now.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. How are you today? Hello, moderator. You've been doing a great job. Well done. Well done. Good evening, everyone. And it's very interesting. Great to be here. Thank you so much. I see the comment section is buzzing. Like, you guys are on fire. Thank you so much. Hey, Washan, Washan, Washan. Hey, you people are really, really making my energy level to be hyper. And I really need it because I've been so, for those that know me personally, I think I've been so emotional this week because I just lost a friend. And yeah, it hits me so, so bad. But of course, we have to work. Work has to go on, and of course, Evolve Conference has to happen. So yes, it's a huge honor, a privilege to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, David, for putting this together. To David and your team, thank you. Well done. I've been seeing all the Instagram tags, all the social media mentions. I couldn't even repost. I'm sorry. It's been a week full of so many dramas for me. So thank you. I know I have just 1 hour or so to be with you here, so I will just go straight to the point so that we can get into this conversation as fast as possible. So before I go in, yes, I like to always say that whatever you hear about me in my profile, just leave those things, like, just put them aside, right? Put them aside for now. Let's just get into the conversation. And of course, we are who we are by the grace of God. I like to always stress that it's not by our power, right? But yes, we celebrate it. Positioning for the corporate world. I don't know why David would ask me to come and talk about the corporate world, Going by the fact that I just left the corporate world last year, well, I switched. Okay, let me not say leave. I switched career path, from a particular place to another place, and I'm doing something really interesting now. Maybe that is why. Yay! Thank you. I've seen the comment. Thank you so much. Yeah, don't worry about the loss. I'll pull through, right? You all are not even going to make me go emotional. So let me go straight into this conversation, right? So positioning for the corporate world. I mean, when I was preparing for this, I'm like, okay. I'm just going to come here and share my experiences working in Axis Bank for 6 years. That's what I'm going to do. What I learned, the mistakes I made, because when I look back, I'm so grateful I started my career path from there because, of course, it helped me learn a lot of things and put a lot of things also in perspectives for me. So when I got the topic like positioning for the corporate world, and I'm like, okay, how was it when I was in Axis Bank? Why am I going to be using Axis Bank? Is because I've worked longer in that place than I have in any other organization. Even though I'm working in another corporate environment now, they're two different things, right? So I'm just going to share some of my experiences. So let's get straight into the business. So I won't be looking at the comment section so that I don't get distracted. So I just want you to listen, please. I beg you, give me your full attention so that you can get the very juicy part of this conversation. I want to believe that a lot of us are people who are working in corporate environment, or maybe not working yet, or we're looking to work in some corporate organizations. Some of us want to work in banks, some of us want to work in HR companies, some of us want to work in resourcing firms. Some of us even want to, yes, even some entrepreneurs, of course, you want to grow your business to that place where it is a corporate entity, where people can, of course, wake up and resume to on Monday morning, walk in, and it's not by dressing corporate, right? I'm going to get to that part. Where people can take it as a serious business. There is just that perception that when you're working in a corporate environment, it's serious business, it's not child's play. So some of us that are even entrepreneurs are looking forward to growing that business to what it will be one day. Like, oh, people are coming here to resume and they're closing in the evening, they're getting their salaries from here. So yeah, it's okay, right? But back then, my experience working in Axis Bank for 6 years for me was 6 years and 6 months. I resigned in January last year. And it was just an eye opener for me because since I was now working inside, I got the opportunity to see a lot of things. Not just see a lot of things, also learn a lot of things. So when people ask me, oh, why did you stay in Access for that long? Oh, why did you work for that long? I mean, you're not even an accountant, or you didn't study accountancy. For God's sake, I studied mass communication. What is a media consultant? And I was still doing my media, funny enough. I was still doing my media even when I was working in the bank. So people are like, why are you stressing yourself? Well, I always like to tell them that what I was learning at the time was organizational structure. So for me, I wanted to learn what it was to have somebody superior to report to. I wanted to learn how to relate with colleagues. I wanted to learn that hierarchy. I wanted to learn even how you log your complaints and your requests. I just wanted that setting for me. And aside that, yes, the pay was also cool for me at the time. So yes, the pay was good. I was also learning some things, and I was picking them on my journey. So it was a win-win for me, right? And the truth is that at the end of the day, it got to the time when I needed to leave. So this is where a lot of people make mistakes. So when I actually got into the banking industry, my intention was to spend 4 years, right? My intention was to spend 4 years. And the reason I wanted to spend 4 years, just 4 years, was because I'd gotten into the bank with my national diploma. So I got in as an IT student. After my 1 year as an IT student, some of us got letter, oh, you could extend your stay, you had been retained, oh, your salary is going to increase, you're going to be getting this amount, right? And I'm like, oh, wow, nice. I was just about 19 or 20 at the time. And I mean, a 19-year-old girl of 20, I think I was going on 20, earning 50K. I mean, what was I doing in the bank? I was just there attending to customers. At that time, it was good, right? It was good at that time. So I felt, you know what? I'm not from the very rich, I don't have a rich background. My parents don't even have the money to send me into, university or even a private school. So I'm like, you know what? Let me stay back, work and earn. So I was earning and I was using the money to pay my school fees. So my calculation was that by the time I was 4 years on the job, I would be in my final year in the university. All right. So follow this gist. Now, I knew that once I'm done 4 years, I would go for service and then I'll go on to do whatever I want to do. So that was my intention for spending 4 years, right? At the end of the day, I spent 6 years and 6 months. What happened along the line? So we're about to get into the conversation of positioning yourself in the corporate world, right? I hope you're ready. If you're ready, let me see your comments. Let me know you are still watching and let me know that you are ready. So let me see. Ready, 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 ready. Let me see the comments. All right. So that was the story. That was actually why I stayed back, right? Now, when it was 4 years, I didn't even pick up a direct entry form. I picked up a form in National University and I was enjoying my life, right? Going to school, working, doing my media and other stuff. And I was good. I was earning my money. Like I was just collecting the money and it was interesting. It was good for me, right? But at the time, I now forgot. I forgot that I had a mission. I forgot that my plan was to stay here for just 4 years, right? Because again, even when I was done, I wasn't even writing any exams again. It got really comfortable. It got really comfortable. I won't lie to you. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just stay. Let me just stay here for one more year. And I know that this might be similar to some people's story where you probably get into a particular organization and your intention is to stay maybe, and you're like, oh, let me just work 2 years. So these 2 years, I'm just going to save money and then I'll go and start up something. And then you just suddenly wake up and you see that I've spent 5 years. How did I do it? How did I do it? So the problem is that a lot of times, a lot of us get into jobs without having a reason to just get into the job. So in a place like Nigeria, we all know what is going on in the country, in the society. So of course, you just do whatever you see. And of course, because you don't want people to term you lazy, which job is available? Okay, can you do it? Even when you know that this is not what you studied and this is not what you would probably love to do. But because you don't have a choice, you just get in and then you do it. And of course, because you have not gotten an alternative, you're not even thinking of an alternative, right? That's the conversation. You're not even thinking of an alternative. So you are not even searching for an alternative. So because of that, you just wake up and you're like, 7 years gone, what am I doing? How have I been doing it? Yes, because before we get into jobs, a lot of time we don't even know why we are taking up those jobs. Most of the time we just want to take up that job just because we don't have an option. Next is probably because, oh, there's no job in the society. If I'm not doing this job, what will I be doing? So let me just take anything that's available. And then because you've taken anything that is available along the line, you probably get used to it. And that's something about comfort. You probably get used to it, and because you're used to it, you're not even thinking of the need for you to move ahead. You're not thinking of the need for you to forge and do other things. So because of that, you are so comfortable in that place you are. So you forget totally that, oh, I'm actually meant for better things. I'm meant to do more. There's something else I want to do. So you forget, and maybe, yeah, God help you, the pay is good. You're like, oh, nice, I have arrived. So at the end of the day, when you wake up, maybe 10 years later, I'm sure you must have even heard some people who say, you know what, I've been working all my life, but there's no fulfillment. I don't even have happiness. I'm not happy here. They have all the money, but that's exactly what happened, because comfort breeds complacency. And once you're complacent in a particular situation or in a particular position that you are, you begin to get extinct. So that's one thing. So a lot of us get into jobs without even knowing why we are taking up these jobs. So at the end of the day, it looks like I'm just doing this thing because I don't have a choice. I'm just doing this thing because, oh, that's what is available. There's no job. Let me just do it. That's the very mistake a lot of us make. And if you're like that, if you're probably in a particular job right now and you have not even thought for one day, why am I doing this work? this line that I am, this job I'm waking up to every morning, if you have not thought to yourself, why am I doing it? I think it's high time you started having those kind of conversations with yourself, because again, you're going to wake up sometime in life and you want to do a review or a check of the kind of life you've been living, maybe for the past 4, 5, 6 years of your life, and you want to evaluate, and you're like, oh, have I really grown in my career? For me, when I left, it was because at a point I wasn't having any career advancement. So I was just, I'd been in that same position, being a data analyst for 2 years. Somebody like me would hate being in a place just there, not doing anything, not learning anything new. My creative mind always wants to be busy. I always want to tax my brain. I always want to try something new. So I got tired a lot of times on the job. I remember back then when I was first a teller, I was a teller, I was a customer service person. And then it got to a point, I'm like, all I do here is just debit and credits. I just do deposit. Even though at some point I was a university teller, I was in Western Union, MoneyGram, transfer, clearing checks. Those in the banking industry are familiar with these terms. But I was doing all of those things. But again, I got tired. So maybe I'm like 2 years on the job and I'm like, what am I really doing? Can there not be a better way? And then at some point I switched and then I started doing customer service. And again, I got tired and, I'm like, you know what? I'm tired. Let me try data analyst. And then I moved on to another department entirely, which is now back office. And then again, I was 2 years and I'm like, oh. So I knew that I couldn't stay in that place for a long time. So if you are somebody like me, that you are very creative, your mind is always looking to try out new things, it will be hard for you to stay in an environment that is just there. I mean, you have all the processes in paper, white and black. This is how you do it. So when you come to the office in the morning, you greet. When you greet your customers, you smile, and then you just continue your work. So the job at the time didn't give you the opportunity to express. It didn't give me the opportunity to express myself. Sometimes I'm even having some conversations with customers and my BM says, that is not professional. And I'm like, oh, you're going to choke me, So I started having those kind of feelings. And because I knew that, you know what, I'm not even growing here, I knew I needed to leave. So I'm going to ask you, before you even think of getting into that corporate environment that you want, that you wish for, why do you want to get in there? Why? What is your why? What is your why? I heard when David was saying the other time, before you emerge, you need mission, vision, and all of those things. See, these things apply to every of life's principle and every of the sectors, every of the ramifications. Why do you want to get into that job? Is it just because you want to wake? Is it because you want to have a good pay? Is that all to it? Before you get in, I feel it is very, very important you know why exactly you are getting into that job. Now, when you get into the job, know exactly how long you want to stay in that job. See, we will not tell you these things normally, but I'm just going to share these things. A lot of people get into jobs and they don't even think of an exit time. That's why when they get sacked, it looks like a shock to them. But I'm asking, is it your father's business? I mean, is it your father that owns the company? Do you want to die there? I'm sorry, but I'm just asking you these candid questions because the truth is that either now or later, you will have to leave someday. So you need to set that target for yourself. This company I'm getting into, this is why. When you have known the why, okay, this is why I want to get there. I want to get in there because this is what I want to learn. Oh, I'm getting in there because I want to get close to this particular person. Oh, I'm getting in there because, yes, the pay is good, but it's also going to help me grow my career dreams. Oh, I'm getting in there because I like the excellence culture in this organization. What is your why? Why exactly are you getting into that job? I don't know if I'm making sense to someone, but once you know the why, it's easy for you to connect with the values of that organization. I will be so shocked if some people here don't even know the values of the organization they work with. I mean, that would be like very terrible. Don't even let me catch you. Don't let me catch you. Because the truth is that if you don't know the values of the organization you work for, how do you want to align it with your own? How do you want to merge it with your own? Let me know if I'm making sense. Please let me know in the comment section. Let me know if I'm making sense. Now, when you know your why, before you even start, well, before you go deep, see, tell yourself, I'm here This is what I want to learn. This is why I'm here for this purpose at this particular time. Once I'm done, I'm going to proceed to do other things. That's what you call career advancement. That's what it means that you are progressing. When I was in the banking industry, people literally didn't know I worked in the bank. I mean, until maybe when I'm in a conversation and then I mention it. Why do I do that? Why am I doing that? Or why did I do that at that time? That's because at some point in my life, I began to understand that the job I was doing at that time does not define me. So I began to put out myself as what I am without the job. So that if peradventure tomorrow the job is taken off me, I don't lose my essence and I don't lose my value. So it's only those that were probably close to me at that point that knew, oh, Mary actually works so in so place, and this is what she does. So I would define myself at that time. I'm going to introduce myself, and I will not even mention anything relating into with the bank because, of course, the job does not define me. So again, you also need to know what defines you. If it's a job, if that's your career, if that's what you want to pursue for a long time, it's okay. Carve a niche for yourself in that place and grow. Let people know you that this. But if you know that, see, this is not looking like what I want, though, I'm just doing it, my darling. Begin to define yourself without the job, because when the job is taken out, so that you will not lose your value and so that you will not lose your essence. I hope I'm really making some sense this night. Right. Now, the next thing for me was that I began to, now I'm going to now begin to talk about the things you need to position yourself in the corporate world. What are those things you need? See, I'm going to stress this particular part because it talks about excellence culture. I was in a conversation with someone last week, and we're just talking about, oh, okay, how things are being done generally outside. And he said something that is very instructive. He said, see, gone are those days when it is who do you know? Oh, who is going to help you do it? See, now in this current age and time that we have, it is the works of your hand that will speak for you. And there's something about the excellence culture. If you are on a particular desk, if they know you as, oh, the receptionist in this organization, and there is nothing else attached to that being a receptionist, my darling, very soon, very, 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 very soon, that seat might be taken away from you. Why do I say that? So if all you do as a receptionist is come in the morning, greet people, do your job, and then you go, very soon there will be somebody who will do it better, because there is always something about an excellence culture. How extra are you willing to go for the job you are doing? How extra? What is the extra mile you want to go? Right? When I was in the banking industry, I worked with a particular branch manager, and I think we worked together for 4 years, which is like, it's not done, because normally you switch your branch every 2 years. Every 2 years, you switch your branch. They say, oh, okay, audit will come. You've been in this branch for 2 years. Okay, you will switch, you move to another branch. That's how they do it at the time I was working there. But I worked with this woman for 4 years. You know why I was able to do that? Because in that branch, I can say this one any day, anytime. In that branch, I was like the go-to person. I was the youngest in the branch at the time, but I was doing everything. Everything. Like, there was literally nothing I wasn't doing in the branch. And so even when they transferred me to another branch, my BM said, no, you cannot take me away. This girl is my universal teller. You cannot take me away. I left from the branch to another branch, and in 2 weeks, I came back. I don't know how she did it. I don't know what she did. But she's like, you can't take me away. Why do you think my BM would want to do that? Why? There's something about the excellence culture. How extra are you willing to go on the job? Do you even take time to read about that position you're occupying in your organization? Should we break this table? Should we break this table? Do you even take time to learn about the industry lords in that particular place you are? Have you even read what they do? Have you brought any idea to your organization at any point in time? Have you even spoken to your boss to say, boss, this, I think if we do this and we do this, I think it's going to help us push further. If we do this and do this, I think we're going to get more customers. Have you even done that at any point in time? Why? All you just do is come in the morning, face your work, and then you are done. You close your system, or you dust your seat, and then you go home. You come back the next day. My dear, you will soon be redundant. I'm telling you. If that's all you do, if that is all you do, you will get to a point, even you will be tired. And people around you will also be tired of you. If you can just put in a little bit of excellence, a little bit of extra in what you are doing, see, make a name for yourself in any place you are. Let people know that when you are not around, oh no, we've missed somebody. Let people know. That's how to position yourself in the corporate world. You want to position yourself properly. You want to see, there's something about sitting on a particular chair and you're sitting comfortably like the king or the queen in that place. No, it's not pride. Don't get it wrong. It's not pride. It's positioning. Why people can say, oh, if Dorcas is not in the office today, hey, what do we do? I know that again, there is an extreme side to that, where people don't want to maybe let you go at some point, or they don't even want you to go on leave. I know there is an extreme at that point, but I'm going to also talk about another point where I begin to talk about replicating yourself in that industry that you are, or in that place that you are, where you know that, oh, you know what, by the time I leave, or if I'm not around for 2 days, somebody can stand in for me. I see a lot of people do this very well in the corporate world. You know something, you don't want to share it. I I wanted to say something, but I won't say it. Are you okay? You know something, you don't want to teach your colleague. Why? What's the point? What are you hiding? Why? It is better when we share, we learn together. Oh, I can create this Excel. I was working so much with Excel when I was in the banking industry. I didn't bring the knowledge of Excel from Evono. No, it was a colleague that stood out to teach me. And he taught me till I learned it. Oh, this is what you do. This is how you sum it. Oh, this is how you format. I sat down and I learned that thing. It's good for me now because, of course, outside the job, I can still use the knowledge. But if he had not taught me at that time, how would I have known it? I didn't know all these things before I got in. I didn't know all these things. So I see no reason why you will know something and you know that, oh, this knowledge will be useful to your colleague or for your colleagues, and you decide to keep it to yourself. You are not positioning yourself properly. You are not. Because when you teach somebody what you know, you will learn it again. So somehow you're already positioning yourself as an expert in that particular thing. When they have an issue, they say, oh, go and meet Melvin. Oh, go and meet Melvin is going to do it for you. Positioning yourself, proper positioning. If you want to position yourself in the corporate world or in whatever environment you find yourself, position yourself properly and at a vantage position, such that with you or without you, when you're not there, your absence is felt. When you're not there, your absence is felt. That's what it means to position yourself. Another thing I'm going to talk about on the conversation around positioning yourself in the corporate world or in whatever, I don't even want to limit it to corporate world alone now, because these rules are really general rules, is for you to understand the ethics of the organization you're working with. Right? Am I making some sense? Understand the ethics of the organization you're working with and abide by those ethics. Understand the ethics and understand and abide by those ethics. Now, what do I mean? Some organizations are high rate risk organizations, some are low risk. I remember one funny incident that happened when I was working in the bank. I attended to a customer very late. Bank closed by 4 p.m. But that Okay, I think I'm back. Sorry about that. So when the man finished, he just rolled something in his hand and then he threw it into my cubicle.
Okay, I think our speaker is experiencing network glitches. Well, I believe that is going to be sorted out shortly, and she will be back. Okay, so okay, hope you're all right. She is back, and
Okay, I think I'm back.
all right, you can.
Sorry about that. How many more minutes do I have? Okay, maybe you just chat me. Right, sorry about that. Calls keep coming in and they are breaking my network. Right. So I back to my gist, right? I hope we're enjoying ourselves. I hope we're learning and we're having a nice time. Let me know in the comment section. It's going to let me know if I'm making sense or not. So we call it TYS, right? Now some organizations don't have any issue with that, but the organization I worked with have a serious issue with TYS. TYS is thank you, sir. Right, for those that know, so like when a customer finishes and then the customer is dropping something, like, thank you, sir. You don't want to open your thank you, sir. TYS. So I when I was done, this man dropped that stuff in my cubicle. And guess what? A branch manager caught me. You know what she did? She just called the customer had gone outside. She asked the security man to call the customer back to say, please, that man going, please call him back. And I'm like, this is mess up. That was how I felt, honestly, at that point, because see, I'd worked that day now. And this man wants to reward me for my good job. That kind of thing. I know some of us that. And my BM at the time called me and said,
Whoa, network. Guys, at this point, I want you to begin to pray if you can pray. But we need her to come and complete her session. And the story is so exciting. I want to know what happened. Who else wants to know what happened? When the PM called back the man that gave her the gift. So begin to pray in your dialect, pray in whatever means you can pray. And we pray that the network will be stable so that we can have a wonderful. All right, she is back.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's even happening to my network. That's the truth. I don't even know. So I'm just trying to switch between one and another. I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize. I hope I'm forgiven. Right. So I'm going to tell you this story because it's very important. I put this out. Right. So I felt very bad. But she called me and then she said, call that man back. When she called him back, you know what she did? She just entered my cubicle, took the money. It was 5K because me had counted the sharp sharp. It was 5K. Five, as in five freaking notes. And then the woman said, we don't accept this. And she returned the money like in my presence. I was so embarrassed in the presence of every other person. I was so embarrassed. And she said, she just told the man, we don't accept this in our organization. I'm like, what? That's what happens when you don't accept things in your organization. Okay, I think I'm back. Mm. Okay, I'm reading the comment. Am I back now? I think I'm back because I'm also monitoring with my phone. Okay, poor network. Okay, no problem. Mm. So it's not my fault. I'm sorry, guys. So this is like I'm switching networks, but we're fine. It's fine. The devil is a liar. Don't worry. Just calm down. It's fine. Now, so she returned that money, and I was so pained. I was so embarrassed. But that's exactly what happens when you actually know the ethics of your organization and you decide to flout the rules. Know the ethics of the organization you're working with. If your organization says so, when I was in the banking industry, there are some dresses, there are some color codes we don't wear. We don't wear our suits are black, blue, and gray, and the blue is navy blue, not powder blue. You can't wake up on a Monday morning and show up in a powder blue jacket. They'll send you back home. Now, when you know the things, the rules and the regulations that you interest to stay abide by it. It is in your best interest to abide by those rules. Don't go around flouting the rules and saying, oh, nothing is going to happen. If you want to position yourself properly in the corporate world, don't flout rules and say, oh, there's no big deal, nothing. Or maybe because you've seen somebody do it and you're like, maybe that person did it. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're not that person. And don't forget, you're trying to position yourself appropriately. So if the rule says wear white, please wear white. If the rule says don't wear dotted blue with black, don't wear it. The fact that somebody has done it and the person gets away with it. I mean, when I was in the banking, when I was in the corporate world, I saw a lot of things. Some people do some things. I do those things too. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm also guilty, but I can talk about that because I'm out, right? But I saw those things and I knew that they were bad. They were really bad. Back then, when it's 5 o'clock, we have a culture. Once it's 5 o'clock, we pull our jackets, right? We pull our jackets and we are like, since morning, the guys are loosening their ties. Everybody just wants to relax. Some of us don't even pull our shoes. It's like that. Don't look at me anyhow. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. We just want to relax, like, customers have gone finally, right? So we just relax. We roll our sleeves. But the bank rule says don't do that as long as you're still in the banking premises. One of those days, one of our colleague had, we had closed, we were going home, and she pulled her shoe, wore slippers. We were still in the banking environment. Wore slippers. I don't even want to say, unfortunately for her, when she opened the elevator, the person she met in the elevator was a senior staff member. My darling, the rest they say is history. From there, she went home, yes. From there, because see, some people really have zero tolerance for some of these things. So when you know the rules that apply in the organization you're working for or you're working with, abide by those rules, please. If they say, oh, this is what you should do, please do it. Why? It's not because you cannot choose to disobey or choose to do what, but because you want to just abide and you want to position yourself properly. When they're looking for a good example tomorrow, you'll be surprised they will mention your name. And don't even think people are not noticing you or watching what is happening. People are watching. They may not say it, they may not always talk about it, but people are noticing. They notice when you come in, they notice when you leave, they notice if you put off your system or not, they notice whether you eat on the table or not. They notice these things. The fact that they don't talk about it does not mean they don't notice it. Wait for when they want to do appraisal. You will be shocked. Like when when my bosses at the time talk about collegiate is like another higher appraisal level. When they talk about the things that go down there, senior staff members will take a particular name and pieces the person. You don't understand. You will not even know when you did these things. You will not believe that they noticed. So if you want to position yourself properly, abide by the rules and regulations. Don't bother. Don't bother to flaunt them. Don't even stress yourself. Why? Because you know why you are there, number one, and because you know you want to you want to position yourself appropriately. Now, before I end, I'm going to talk about integrity. This one, you cannot miss it. Integrity in the workspace is gradually, people are not really talking about it anymore, because recently I still got somebody chat me on Facebook to say, oh, you know what, in my office, this is what is happening, my boss is signing this particular document. I know. And I told her, as in, I was very blunt with her, I know that there are no jobs. Yes, I know. But the truth is that when the chips are down, you see that your boss that is always doing those things, that you know that it is wrong. You know that it is wrong. That your boss, when the chips are down, guess what? He will wash himself clean. You don't know what's happening. He or she will wash him or herself clean. They have the money. Is you that, especially when you're not even maybe a senior staff, or you're not maybe in the top place where decisions are being made. At the end of the day, you see that will carry it. So I had to tell her point blank, my dear, look for an alternative and leave that place. If your boss is not going to change, look for an alternative, even if the alternative is not up to what you're collecting currently in that place. Leave that place. If it is threatening your values, if it is threatening your integrity, you cannot even speak the truth. You cannot speak the truth. Leave. You see, this one is a very serious. Leave. You know why I'm saying it? When the chips are down, I had a similar experience when I was in a banking, because I was on the desk that was in Western Union. That was at the time when dollar was very scarce. It was very scarce. I mean, people wanted to buy stuff from China, goods wanted to come in. So that day we had restricted number of people that are always maybe sending money through Western Union and all of that. And I had a boss at the time that was always saying, Mary, hey, help me do this one, help me do this one. I said, Ma, please, where is this customer? Say she's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And because she's the boss, she's the one that will, sign and pass the person. When I couldn't take it anymore, I had to tell the senior boss, who is a superior to us, say, Ma, please, this is what is going on. And I'm saying it because if anything happens, when auditors come, I will open my mouth and talk. Yes, if they will punish us, all of us will go down together. I had to say it clearly, because the truth is, see, especially in sensitive organizations, it's your name that would be there, it's your signature that will be there, right? It's your sign on. At the end of the day, you may not be able to wash yourself clean. If it is threatening your integrity, leave. I'm saying this one and I'm very serious about it. You want to position yourself properly in a corporate world, hold on to integrity. The truth you know, and you know that this one is the truth. Don't let anybody call white black for you. Oh. If you know that this thing is white, see, there are some people that will see this particular page now. You know that this thing is white. They will tell you it is black and they will defend it. If you're not careful, you will start thinking, this is black paper. My dear, it is white, though. It is white. I hope somebody is getting it. I hope somebody is getting it, all right. My time is almost up, all right. So I'm going to take questions. But while I'm taking questions, I'm going to talk about the need for you to build interpersonal relationship. Okay, so I'm gradually getting to the end of my session. I want to take questions now. Please, if you have questions for me, please bring them on. If you have questions for me, please bring them on. If you have questions for me, please bring them on. Bring them on. If you have questions, bring them on. I'm going to be taking questions at this point. Talk about interpersonal relationship. I'm going to talk about interpersonal relationship, right? Now, in the corporate world, I've said it before, you're not an island, you don't know everything. It will be very important for you to build a great interpersonal relationship with your colleague. It's called people skills. You will need it. You will need it a lot. If you're the type that you get to the office, you don't greet people. You just enter, you just want to do your work. In your mind, it's work I came to do. Oh, let me just do my work and leave. My dear, you are shooting yourself in the foot. You are shortchanging yourself, because your colleagues are going to hear something important. They will not call you to it, oh. They will not call you to it, oh. Because why? You don't talk to people. You don't attend to people. You don't open your mouth and contribute in conversations. You are just there on your own. Please, oh, my dear, you are shortchanging yourself. I'm telling you the truth. Learn people skills. It's very, very, very important. In fact, you may not even need those people now that you are in the workspace. You may need them when you are out. And I'm very serious about this. I had to work so much on my interpersonal relationship skills till now. When I left, I've left over a year now. The last time I saw one of my colleagues on the road, that lady literally jumped down from the bus. I was walking on the road. I saw her. I was so happy. My bosses, when I see them on the road, like I still chat some of them on WhatsApp. Yes. Yes. I still talk to them. Why? If I need something tomorrow and I know they can assist me, I will go and meet them. You be my oga. Once my oga, you no wahala. I will come and greet you. You need people. You cannot do it alone. You cannot do it in isolation. So if you're the type that, you're always keeping to yourself. See, this is not even a conversation of whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. No, don't bring it here. This is an introvert. Does not mean you cannot open your mouth and build relationship, build networks. That's the word I've been looking for. Build networks. You will need it. It's very, very, very important. If you want to position yourself in the corporate world, ensure that you build a strong network with people. Be friends to people. Be friends of people. You will need them maybe later, now or tomorrow. All right. Yeah, so my time is up. My time is up. Do I have questions? Where is my moderator or our moderator? Who is our moderator?
Okay,
Madam,
I'm right.
can you hear me? All
Right
right.
here. All right, guys, can we put our hands together for Mary? That was indeed an amazing session, and also it was exciting. I enjoyed the whole energy, I enjoyed the story, and the sense of humor infused in the whole talk. I don't know about you, how was it for you? In the next 2 minutes, we're going to attend to questions. Please, if you have any questions regarding how to position yourself for the corporate sector, do well to ask the questions. And also, we'll be taking feedback. What are your feedbacks? What did you learn? I can see Oni Daniel saying integrity in workplace is key. Yes, that is very key. So feel free to share your lessons, share what you learned from Mary's session. All right, she's off the screen now, but I want you to share what you learned. I want to know, how was the session? You know, she talked about coming into the corporate sector with your why. What is your why? Some of us just get a job and we get into that place all excited just because we want to get money, but we don't have a clear vision. Daniel says, do not keep to yourself. All right, build good interpersonal relationship. Very key, important to growth. Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I need more feedback. I need more comments. How was it? What did you learn? How many of us are ready to go and dominate the corporate sector? How many of us are ready? With these tips, she talked about knowing your why. She talked about learning about the values and the mission of that organization so that you can contribute. You know, making your research. This is me giving my key takeaway. What is your key takeaway? I hope I'm not the only one here. Okay, I finally got home after a long time in transit all day. I'm glad I can still meet up. I must be involved in Evolve. All right, that is someone just coming. I think there is no question. There's no question. Thank you so much, Mary, for that insightful session. I believe we've been equipped with basic strategies to help us dominate in the corporate sector. So I want you to make sure that these lessons are not just what you type here. If you know that you are ready to dominate, remember we are reimagined. And for you to reemerge, it is not the same strategy. It means that previously you have emerged, but you want to reemerge. That means you need new strategies for re-emergence. And right about now, the time is 8:01 p.m. West African time. All right, some persons are still bringing up their learning. Boniface says you can't live in isolation. Promise says in positioning for the corporate world, hold your integrity tight. John says, I really need to know. Okay, there's a question. John A says, Ma'am Mary, are you still here? Oh, she's not here. John says, I really need to know more on how to build that interpersonal relationship. John, what I'm going to advise you to do is, please do well to reach out to our speaker on social media. Her name is Mary Ogundimu. So just search her on social media or reach out to the convener and ask more about interpersonal relationship. I can't give answers to that question. I can't, but it's time for us to have our next guest. It's time for our next guest, but before the next guest come on board, I want to keep acknowledging our comments. What did you learn? Wash, wash, wash. I saw a lot of persons doing that in the comment section, and that is interesting. Okay, Promise is saying, in positioning for the corporate world, build relationship with people. You will need them even after you leave that organization. Exactly. You would always need people. You will always need people, especially in the corporate world. The corporate world is so structured that it has different hierarchy. And if you really want to dominate there, because re-emergence, we're bringing forth leaders from this conference who would have the right mindset that will position them for dominance, and building with people, building effective relationship with people is very important. Adiola says, learn people's skill. Okay, let's keep the comment coming. Let's keep the comment coming. The next speaker is going to be taking us on the topic, think, go deep, and re-emerge. This is so practical. Okay, Daniel is still saying your network is your network. Our next speaker will be talking about think, go deep, and re-emerge. That is what our next speaker, Mr. Johnson Abley, will be taking us on. But before he comes up, I'm going to play his profile to get us expectant and to get us ready. He's not yet in the room. Once I sight him in the room, I'm going to play his profile, and then he's going to take the stage, and I will take a bow and leave your screen. But right about now, I'll keep acknowledging your comment as they come forth. Keep sharing your comment, what you learned, what you're going to begin to do. What are you going to start doing? Because it's so easy for us to say, oh, you had this. It's easy to say deep, strong, deep. But what are you going to start doing after this conference? Okay. Chinenye Ezanya says, you should not hoard what you know. That is, do not hoard your knowledge. Teach your colleagues. Teach your colleagues. That is still talking about building interpersonal relationship and people's skills. Okay, Richman Thomas says, it is like a recommendation, the way you relate with others, your act of openness. Okay, your act of openness, because you need people to recommend you and all about that. So I want your feedback to keep coming, keep them coming, keep them coming. And Miss Mary also talked about the power of, positioning yourself properly. Positioning yourself properly. It's good to position yourself properly when you get into the corporate world. All right. And then she also talked about learn the ethics of your organization. Learn the ethics. What are the do's? What are the don'ts? What are the things that are expected learn the ropes of your organization, and you are going to dominate. Who is ready to dominate the corporate world with the strategies that has been shared today? Let me know in the comment section. Hope I am not the only one. Are you ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Let's keep the comments coming. Let's keep the comments coming. Who is ready to dominate the corporate world after this conference? All right, we are back. I needed to take a sip of water, and we are back. So who is ready? Who is ready? Who is ready? We're still expecting our speaker, and once he comes live, I'm going to play his profile. So while we're still waiting for him, let's keep engaging. All right, Mr. David says, we are ready. I am ready. Promise Marvelous says, you should know the values of the organization you are working with so you can align. All right, let me highlight it. You should know the values of the organization you're working with so you can align them with your values. Exactly. So that's what she talked about, knowing more about your organization value. When she talked about, there was something she talked about, the worker who was sacked because she felt it was after work hour and that she just wanted to be free, not knowing that that was against the ethics of the organization. She also gave the instance of where she received money from a client, from a guest, and that can be very embarrassing. Man, I can just imagine how she felt that day. So that's why it's so important. And this is not just restricted to the corporate world. This is not just restricted to the corporate world. For every industry you want to step into to dominate, if you're going to re-emerge to dominate a particular sector, be it media, be it politics, be it governance, be it business, be it religious, be it corporate, be it social, whatever industry you are aspiring. Remember, David talked about having a vision. What is the vision that is burning in your heart? So with a vision, it goes with burden. It is not enough to have vision. It is not enough to have burdens. You must learn the values of that organization. You must learn the values of the sector you want to step into. So let's keep your knowledge coming. Let's keep your feedback coming from the first speaker, from the second speaker, while we wait for our third speaker to come on board. Okay, let's keep them coming. Whoa, Mr. David, please can we reach our third speaker and know if it's actually the network glitches? I want everyone to begin to pray. Pray in your language, pray in the way you understand best. If you want to speak your native language in Cameroon, please begin to pray because we need this network to cooperate because this Evolve Conference 2021 has come to stay and it has come to give everyone that right mental shift and mental transformation. So keep praying. We need the third speaker to come up. We don't know if it's just we don't know if it's the network, we don't know if it's time, but whatever it is, we believe that all things will work together for the good of the Evolve Conference 2021. Can I get an amen? Whoa. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Mr. David. This as he's communicating with him, and we're gonna hold on. We're gonna hold on. So while we are holding on, I want us to keep our feedback coming. I want to keep our feedback coming. Let's keep the feedback coming. So I'll keep acknowledging them, and we engage. So many persons joined in. They were not available when we took the introduction. So from our introduction, from the beginning of the conference, this virtual summit, we began to acknowledge people that are joining from different parts of Africa. And for those of you who joined in and you know that maybe you've said your comment, yes, but you've not introduced yourself, telling us where you're joining from and your expectation, you have the opportunity to do that. One of the goals of RE-EMERGENCE conference is also to build our network. Remember, our second speaker talked about needing people interpersonal skills. You never can tell, your employer may be here, because in this conference, we have people from different sectors. We have people from corporate world. We have business executives here. We have thought leaders here. We have entrepreneurs here. So sell your market. So I'm giving you that opportunity. If you did not introduce yourself when we started, now is the time to do that. So in the comment section, shoot your shot, introduce yourself, and then tell me your expectation, because this is just day one. And there's a saying that the bottom part of the soup is usually sweeter than the bottom part. So tomorrow is another day. And then on Saturday is the grand finale. So this is just the foundation. This is just setting the foundation. So I need your comment section coming. I need your comments coming so I can keep acknowledging you. I'm going to be going on a short break, and I'll be back to acknowledge all your comments. So keep them coming. Keep them coming. I'm going to go on a short break, and I'll be back. And we are back. We are back. So what are we saying? What are we saying? I'm not seeing your comments. I hope you guys are not just leaving me alone. You know, I love physical conferences, because I've been comparing for over 3 years. And the beauty of physical conferences is the fact that you can look people in the eyes, you can see their faces, you can see their smiles, and you can compliment one or two things about them. But here, I can't really see your faces. I don't even know what to compliment. So please engage in the comment section. Engage in the comment section. Don't keep me alone here. Don't keep me alone here. Let's engage. So I'm going to engage through your names, and then through your feedback, and also your expectations. So let's keep them coming. Let's build a rapport. Let's network at this point in time. All right. Okay, DKT, highly awaited. DKT, have I introduced you? Have I acknowledged you? Have you introduced yourself? If you have not, please, you have the platform to do that. Type in the comment section, and then I'm going to read it up live on the broadcast. This is brand awareness for you. So take opportunity of that. This is what I'm going to do right now. Once I cite our next speaker, this opportunity goes up. And remember, people are going to catch the replay for this conference, and that is big visibility for you. So let's do that shortly. Let's do that shortly. Okay. Bennett Dixon says, so great. Bennett Dixon, that is not what I asked you to do. Okay, yes. Someone is doing that now. Shin Bala. Okay, Shing Bala. I think I'm going to stop there. It's from Cameroon. I love our Cameroonian brothers and sisters who have been showing up on this conference. I think we even have more Cameroonians than the Nigerians. All right, Shin Bala is from Cameroon and he is an electrician by profession. Thank you, Shin Bala. I hope I got that pronunciation correctly. Maybe one of these days, I'm going to connect with some of you and you're going to give me a tour around Cameroon whenever I come around. So, Shin Bala, it's nice connecting with you all the way from Cameroon. Thank you so much for joining the Evolve Conference 2021. Okay, Chidima Ani says, I am Annie Abigail from Nigeria. Okay, Annie Abigail. Well, you're not telling us what you do, or maybe some of your expectations for the conference. So this is shoot your shots, sell your market. Not really sell your market, but just we're trying to build that connection. So if there's someone you connected with on the comment section, you can go back and reach out for the person on social media, because social media has also made connectivity quite easier. It is because of the power of the IT technology that I can sit here from the comfort of my home here in Abuja, Nigeria, and I am reaching someone like Shin Bala from Cameroon. That is how powerful social media and also the network has done. All right. I am grateful. Wash hands, wash hands. All right, Shin Bala, thank you so much, all the way from Cameroon. Other people, where are you? I hope everything is right with our speaker. We're very sorry about the delay. On behalf of the organizers, we do apologize for the delay and the break in transmission, but we want to let you know that we are working really hard to see that we move on to the next phase of this of the summit of this conference. All right. So I want you to keep your expectation high. I know some of you are still on the road, but if you're currently at home, please keep your expectation high. And yes, our third speaker for today just joined. Our third speaker for today just joined. He is an amazing personality. I know this is my second time hosting him on a virtual conference, something like that. The first time was during Jurok's challenge, something, and he spoke to us so powerfully. So right about now, I'm going to be playing the profile of Mr. Johnson Abley. That's going to be talking about think, go deep, and re-emerge. That is our third session for today, and I want you to get your seatbelts tightened, get your pen, get your books, because we are ready to go down so that we can re-emerge. All right, Richman says, my name is Richman. I'm joining from Liberia. Thank you so much for joining from Liberia. I expect that at the end of today's lecture, all right, those great potentials that were hidden in me will be awakened. All right, thank you so much all the way from Liberia. I need to acknowledge that because this is the first person I'm seeing commenting from Liberia. All right, right about now, the speaker profile of Mr. Johnson is up next, and I'll be off your screen, but I'll still be here with you live and direct. So in case you don't see me, know that I'm still here with you, but Mr. Johnson is going to take the stage after the profile.
Abali Johnson is the chief executive of Lightfield House International, a talent profiling organization. He is the president of Achievers Consortium International. The ACI is a community of young professionals who collaborate and share resources to help raise the next generation of leaders in Africa across 15 sectors. He is the host of Situation Room Africa. Situation Room Africa holds the industry policy forum that would attract stakeholders, including funds, investors, young industry professionals, entrepreneurs, academia, policy and knowledge experts, under one purpose: to fast-track innovation, entrepreneurship, and leadership development in Africa. Abali founded the Vortex International Center that identifies, aggregates, and mainstreams smart undergraduates across the nation's institutions. Outliers, as they are called, choose for a bouquet of nearly 100 global issues and build skill sets that positions them to make a difference across critical sectors of growth. The VIC is supported by Achievers Consortium across campuses. Johnson Abali is a fellow of the prestigious Mount Pelerin Society, established since 1947 in Switzerland. He's the author of Unleashed, an extraordinary book that focuses on unlocking the next generation. He also co-authored a book with Professor Akinshola Olowu for the Department of Psychology in the Faculty of Social Sciences of Obafemi Awolowo University, titled Mentoring, a Key Issue in Human Resources Management, which is published by the Ife Center for Psychological Studies and Services. He is an inspirational speaker, strategist, conceptual theorist, and convener of the House of Daniel. He has represented an event in Nairobi, Kenya. He is also a fellow of African Institute of Entrepreneurs. He is a member of the Human Capital Policy Commission of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group that covers the health, education, and youth development sectors. He is the chairperson of the Youth Development Subcommittee of the Policy Commission. Abali is a core skills facilitator with British Council Nigeria for Connecting Classroom program. He is a facilitator for Faith Foundation and has managed several events including Business on Radio, Samsung Real Dream program, and the Aspiring Entrepreneur program. He serves on the board of the Education Burden Bearers Group, an arm of the Apostles in the marketplace. He is the Deputy Chairman Board of Governors Inspiration Schools in Ogun State and is also the Chairman of Imagine Media Communications, publishers of Home and Office magazine. Abali has been severally recognized for his contribution to human capital development. Some of his awards include Future Awards 2006, Pro Niger Award from University of Port Harcourt, two-time Alumni Award recipient from University of Benin, Business Management Conference Awards 2012, Award of Excellence from Faculty of Medicine, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, among others. Johnson Abali is an alumnus of the United States government prestigious annual International Visitors Leadership Program, IVLP, in Washington, D.C. Abali is an author and continues to be a much sought-after speaker in both corporate events and youth conferences locally and internationally. With a round of applause and a standing ovation, join me as we welcome Johnson Abali.
Thank you very much, everybody, for joining in here tonight. I also want to quickly thank the organizers of this event. I think that it's a great honor to have been invited to be a part of this. I wish there is a way that I can confirm that you guys can hear me. I know that you can chat. This is going to be very interactive. So if you really can hear me, so this is a good time. Just quickly put up a chat and say, yes, I can. So I'm sure that I can hear each one. All right, can everybody hear me? Richmond Thomas, good to have you join us all the way from Liberia. You, our brothers on the other side. I'm sure that we have quite a number of other individuals as well. So I want to be sure if I'm communicating to you, if you can hear me pretty well. I need to confirm that you can hear. Okay, thank you, David. David could confirm that. Wow. I'm excited to be a part of this event. I've been asked to talk about Think, Go Deep, and Emerge. What a topic. I think this topic is unique in many ways. First of all, you're addressing young Africans, African youth. A lot of people tend to think that we don't think, and a lot of young Africans are challenged on every side you can imagine, from the economy to education, financially, emotionally, and now we are having huge problems with mental health. And so every place you go, thank you very much, Julius Kajil, every place you go, you see that we have evidences to demonstrate that there's not a lot of thinking taking place in this part of the world. And it breaks my heart. That is why I am particularly interested in this topic. Not because you chose it, but because this is the field that I have worked in for so long. And I've been working with a lot of young people trying to shift their thinking. And I want to talk to you a bit about how to think real deep, because that is how you get out of a mess. All right. And I'm really looking forward to the question and answer time, because I think that's what the juice is. I do better when I take people's questions and I'm able to explore other dimensions of the conversation that I may not be able to speaking from an outline. So I am hoping that you will engage with me very vigorously during the time of questions, because I really want to challenge you. I want you to understand that we are now in very precarious times. You do not have the choice to decide to sit and do nothing. That choice does not exist. And I want you to understand one thing fundamentally right now. If you're writing down this where to start, write this down very quickly. You cannot afford to do nothing, because everything has a consequence. There's consequence for action, there is consequence for non-action. All right. So it means that if you decide to be a nobody, there's a consequence for that. If you decide to be somebody, there's a consequence for that. Everything got consequences and risk. So there is no risk-free zone. It doesn't exist. I'll give an example. When somebody says, well, I want to be simple. I don't want to have a lot of money. I just want to manage myself and my family and stay in some small spot of the earth. Nobody knows I even exist. So I just manage like that and go on. Now, the problem with that is that it carries its own risk. How many of you have heard about assaults by bandits and terrorists and kidnappers and all kinds of things happening? Who do you think are the chief culprits of all of this? The poor, the ordinary, the downtrodden, what they call the common man, the one who has decided to be a nobody, and then he has sat down in a small conclave doing nothing. Now, what you now see is that there is a risk to that life, meaning that he has no options. So when he's been attacked, he has nowhere else to go. He cannot afford a ticket, or maybe an economy ticket, and fly out. He cannot. He cannot even afford a taxi out of town. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? His family has split in all directions. He does not have any options, so he often gets what's coming to him. And that's what the problem is. That life is by itself a risk. Now take the other person who decides, I want to go all the way to the summit. I want to tear down walls. I want to pull down the glass ceiling. I want to do incredible things. I want to change folks. All right. I want to make wealth. I want to solve problems. I want to be known all over the world. I want to achieve notoriety in my field. Now, people who think like that equally are embracing risk. The risk of being hated, the risk of being on somebody's hit list, the risk of success that attracts all kinds of enemies. All right. So it also means that there is a risk that you get so wealthy you can't walk on the street like everybody else. All right. Your children will have to be under security surveillance 24/7, because you don't want people to come and take advantage. Now, here you are. If there is a crisis, there is an attack, you have the option to get on a private jet or a chopper or something and then jet out of the country to safety. You can buy a home anywhere in the world. You can buy the best medicine or the best healthcare money can afford. You can go anywhere. Now, you see those two lifestyles? They both have risk. So you see, you have, in making the decision, you have to now ask yourself, which of this risk am I comfortable with? The risk of being nobody and getting what comes to me because I'm broke, poor, and disgusted, or the risk of being somebody and I am hated. People say all kinds of nonsense about me, but I do know that I have the resources to set up my family. If there is an attack, I can get out, I can fly private and leave the country, and so on and so forth. So you discover that you have the choices that the other guys does not have. So both lifestyles have risk. The question is, which one would you embrace? So basically what I'm telling you is that you do not have a choice not to have a choice. You cannot not decide. Whether you decide or you don't decide, there are risks attached to both behaviors. So your job now is to decide now to choose your risk carefully, choose your options carefully, make the kind of choices that empower you. Yes, you're going to have enemies. Yes, people are going to try to pull you down. Yes, you're going to be notorious, but you have the power of options. So having settled that, I just wanted you to understand that you do not have a choice not to make a decision. You have to make a decision, because whether you make the decision or not, there are risks involved. Now, having said that, let's now go deep, because that's what today's about. Think, go deep. And the reason I want to go deep is because I want to explore certain elements in your thinking which you don't even know about. Some people wonder, why do I behave the way I behave? Why do I make choices the way I make choices? That why is what I want to explore now, and I want you to stay with me. As many of you can see me, I'm trying to look straight into your eyes. And I want you to understand this truth today, that you haven't met your original you. What you see every morning when you look at the mirror is not you, sir. It's something called a construct. That construct is what you carry around town. And so today we want to go deep so that you can re-emerge. And that is why I'm going to, there's a subset, there's a sub conversation I want to have under this topic, and I call it finding and altering your mental frames. Oh, I need you to really listen, because something is going to change in somebody's life tonight. And I'm really waiting for that moment when you guys get to ask questions. I'm sure that you guys can hear me still. Altering your mental frames. Why do you do the things you do? Why do you hate the people you hate? Why do you live and marry and love and play and pray exactly the way that you do? Is it who you are? Or is it the result of a social construct that have been in place since when you were born, since before you even have the consciousness or the awareness of your environment? That's the point now. And so as you take this journey with me in the next few minutes, I want you to just stay steady, because I said we're going to explore it. Number one, what is mental frame? Think of a frame. Let me put it this way. If you've ever been to a construction site where people are trying to cast a pillar, you discover that they use wood to create a frame for the pillar. They use the wood to create a frame that the pillar is going to sit in, so that the frame guides the building. So eventually now they mix some cement and sand and what have you, and then they pour all that concrete into that frame, all right, or form if you like. Now they leave it for a while. So after some time, the concrete was set. Now after it is set, they now remove the frame. All right, so I continue from where I stopped. Thank you very much. I can see you, Chinyere. Chinyere is fantastic. Okay, that's great. I can see that you guys can hear me. That's beautiful. Now, when they remove that frame, what you will notice is that the pillar has already set. So the frame is no longer needed. But what has happened is that the pillar is carrying the construct of the frame. So you don't even need the frame anymore. So the pillar has already taken the shape of that frame. In fact, you will need a dynamite to destroy that pillar and destroy its form because it has already taken shape. Now, that's exactly what is happening with a lot of you. Now, so many individuals have been raised to think in a certain way, and so they now assume that that way that they think is who they are. And so as a result, they cannot understand the reason why they are always struggling with themselves. All right. And then I've met people ask me, I am chasing this career, this field, but I notice that I feel drawn to this other thing. But I don't know why I feel drawn to this other thing. This is a career. Now, the reason you are having that dichotomous conflict is because what you think is your career is not you who made the decision. If, as a matter of fact, you didn't make any decision about anything concerning your life. That's funny, right? Let me prove it to you. What's your name? How did you get that name? Did you make a decision? You didn't even choose your name. Your name was given to you. Your worldview was handed over to you. Your mindset was handed over to you. So you have something called a mind frame. So that frame of mind now decide what you think and the extent to which you can achieve stuff. Now, let me give you a typical example or two examples of how frames of mind can limit or expand your possibilities. All right, now stay with me now. Watch this. There was this time scientists carried out a small experiment on an elephant. All right, they took the baby elephant and they chained it to a very big trunk of a tree. All right, and so they locked it in. The elephant could not get out. Now, the elephant tried several times but could not. Then after 20 years, all right, they came quietly while the elephant was asleep and they unlocked the chains and walked away with the chains. Now the chains were no longer there. All right. Please keep in mind the illustration I gave you about the frame. The way you form a pillar, you build a frame and then you pour concrete. And then after a while you remove the frame, but the concrete has taken the shape of the frame. Keep that in mind. That's exactly what happened to this elephant. So what has happened now is that the elephant, even though the chains are no longer in his legs, when they came and then they tried to make him move, he would not. There was nothing they did to make him step away from that place, but the elephant would not step away from that place. He refused to. Now what has happened now is that even though the chains are no longer on his feet, the chains are now mentally in his mind. All right, so the frame that was external before has now metamorphosed into an internal construct. All right, so the elephant now sees the world from that mental construct. So he doesn't believe in the possibility of moving beyond this tree because all his life he has been subjected to think that he's not supposed to go beyond this place. Now that gives a picture of the way you raised. Now there are some people you can't talk greatness to. You talk about them, talk to greatness, talk to them about greatness, and then they tell you, no, not for me. Why? It's a mental construct. All while they used to think that they are not meant for much, that they are ordinary, banal, weak people. They cannot do extraordinary things. So as a result of that, they have imbibed that frame in their minds. And so when they think about it, they think about themselves within the frame of somebody who cannot achieve something beyond their guru, beyond their village, beyond that township. So anybody who comes around and says, oh, there's this opportunity, if you want to work in London, you want to work in the United States, they can't believe it. They can't even step forward to take the opportunity because their mental frame is inconsistent with the message that you are giving them, because they do not see themselves in that light. Therefore, they cannot approach to take advantage of the opportunity. Is the reason why some people are stuck where they are, because they have a mental frame that tells them that they cannot do certain things. Now let me take this deeper. In Africa, they tell us that we cannot do many things. They say we are incapable of leadership. They say we fight ourselves and we kill our brothers. They say that our fathers cannot leave their homes. They tell us all kinds of things, that we are internal infants. And that we have all of this resource, but we don't know what to do with it. So they try to get you to think that you are impaired, you have a fault, you are broken, and you cannot succeed without the intervention of a bigger country in the West. You know what that is called? It's called mental framing. And the way mental framing works is, if you tell people consistently that they are a certain way, they tend to believe it. And so when you see the media everywhere, Western media, every feature they have to capture Africa will have to be a picture of pain, of loss, of war, of poverty, of malnutrition, of all kinds of terrible things raping the continent. All right, and then they sustain that picture. So when you go to watch any of the cable TVs, you will see Africa portrayed in that light. Africans who are in the diaspora, when they want to find out about what's happening at home, they will see Africa portrayed in that light. Westerners who want to come, they realize Africa is broke, bastard, disgusted, can't put a penny upon another. It is a dark continent, incapable of self-leadership. Now they put themselves like that. It's all called mental framing. And now somebody would say, but wait a minute. If we actually go out there in town, we will actually find that truly there is poverty out there. There is pain out there. There are all kinds of people who are not able to, take care of their families and take care of their loved ones and so on and so forth. So is it really a lie? In psychology, there is something called the Pygmalion effect. And that is what has happened. Now, what happens is this with the Pygmalion effect is people become increasingly what you tell them that they are. It's psychology. And so when somebody over time keeps telling you you're poor, you're broke, you're useless, you're wasted, you can't feed yourself, you can't take care of your family, and they tell you and they give you that picture again and again and again, what they are doing is that they are framing your mind so that every time you get to think about you think poverty, you think need, you think lack. Is the reason why the first encounter a black person tend to have with a white man is a conversation about help. Just think about it. Every time you go to a place now, sometimes I've had to watch some of our African brothers when we visit other countries, and then they have to talk to a Caucasian, a European, or somebody, or an American about what's happening back here at home. They almost always start with tale of pain, gory tales about what's not working. Our government isn't doing this. There's a lot of poverty. In fact, I'm here. They take that position. Now, what they do not know is that is not them taking that position. The people who you're going to meet have already framed you that way, and you are acting on the script that they have played out for you. And until somebody comes to the place where they are able to challenge, as it were, all of that frame, you will discover that you will continue to produce. There is nothing that you can do outside the frame. I'll tell you how to break the frame later, but listen to this. Everybody is functioning within the frame. That is the reason you will notice that two individuals may go to the same school, but they do not produce the same result. And then you're wondering where they both had the same opportunities, they came out of the same communities. How is it that one is doing a lot more better than the others? Because they don't have the same mental frame. And that is what has happened. When somebody begins to think of himself as successful from very early, he's not going to produce the result of somebody who is afraid of the future because he doesn't know if he's going to survive. Now, let me tell you the reason why people pay a lot of money to send their children to certain kinds of private schools. I have had arguments, a lot of people put out there, they say, wow, I have seen the last WAEC result. You won't even see the name of any big private school that paid 2 million or 3 million in the WAEC list. And I used to laugh when I hear all those kinds of conversation, because people would just be like, wow, it's true. All these schools that pay 1 million, 1.5 million per term, the names of their students don't even come up in best WAEC result or best JAM result or anything. You see, in fact, I prefer to be going to public school and come out well in my exams and be that. You are missing the point. You see, the people who pay 5 million per annum, 3 million per annum to send their children to a school where children from wealthy homes are, they are not paying because they want you to come first in WAEC result. No. They are paying, pay attention to this, because they are trying to preserve the mental frame of the child. So they know that if they have to pay 5 million a term, and the child sits in a class where the conversation is like this: hey, my mom says I'm going to go to England for summer, and we're going to be visiting some very cool places around Europe. And then you hear conversations like, well, my dad said he's going to take me on a tour when we get to the United States, so I'm going to get to NASA. I mean, I'm so excited about, being an engineer in NASA. I can't wait to get out of school so that I can go and do a program that will put me on the path of that career so that I can go and pursue it earnestly. And then you hear conversations like, well, my daddy's business is doing great. I think he wants me to take it over from him. The business is currently doing almost 9 figures right now. They are doing over 2-3 billion turnover every month. I mean, every year. And Dad wants me to set it up, so I need to take an MBA very quickly and go ahead. You see that kind of conversation? That is what parents pay for. That is what you call mental frame, because they want the child to come out of those kinds of schools thinking about how to invent technology for the whole of Africa. They want the child to come out of those kinds of schools thinking about how to partner with a friend and do something with NASA. And thinking global, thinking dominion, thinking how do we take this thing over? That is exactly what is going on. That is what they pay for. Some people don't seem to understand it. That is why you see that in the end, it is still those children who get out of those kinds of school that come back to start your big tech companies. They're the ones that come back to say, there's money to start to do X, Y, and Z. They're the ones that go to different parts of the world, and then they are tearing down records and they're doing incredible stuff. And then you're wondering, wow, that family seems to be doing well. It is the mental frame. They put the child in a place where he doesn't get polluted with thoughts of poverty, with thoughts of lack, with thoughts of need, where he's daily confronted by the sight of children who don't have money for lunch, by the child of children who could not afford textbook, or people who have been driven out of class because they did not pay the PTA levy, or all those kinds of things. The parents don't want their mental frame shrunk in such a way that they're not able to achieve incredible monumental success. This is the reason why they're willing to pay more, so that the children have what you call mental vicinity, the kind of mental vicinity that will frame their mind for greatness and success and powerful results. This is the reason why the pay what they pay is not for WAEC at all. They don't even care about WAEC and all these other things. As a matter of fact, many of the children going to those schools don't even come back to sit for your local exams or go to your local schools. They eventually get out of the country and go to where else they want to go. But that mental frame is what parents pay for. You could see that they don't think the same way. Mental frame is everything. A poor person doesn't care about mental frames. He will feel that spending 2 million to pay for that kind of school fees is a waste of money when I can just pay a local school here that collects 70,000 naira, and then the child will go, and is it not the same exam they are going to write? You are missing the point. You don't understand. You see, this is why wealthy people, poor people, they do not play the same kind of game. They do not analyze situation the same way ever. It's not at all. And that's the problem. Now, let me tell you something else. Your mental frame determines how you use time. A rich person will spend money to save time. That's his mental frame. A poor person will waste time to save money. That's his mental frame. Now, these two different mental frames will never, no amount of prayer points you raise, they will never produce the same result. Never, I can assure you. Now, let me give you a clear illustration to that. A rich person is willing to spend money to save time. It's like somebody wants to get to Abuja. He's willing to pay for a flight ticket of 30,000 or 40,000 and get to Abuja in 1 hour, and then save time so that he can do more. The poor person is willing to waste time to save money. So rather than spend 20,000 or 30,000 or 40,000 for a single ticket, he calculates 2 bags of yam and bag of gari and rice that money can buy. And so as a result of that, he says, I prefer to stay on the road for 12 hours so that I can save 30,000. At his level, at that mental frame, that makes sense to him. That is wisdom for him at that level. And so what you now find is that he stays on the road 12 hours, chatting away, having fun. Now, that's 12 hours squandered. Now, the other person has utilized his 12 hours, and now he's going to produce result and generate value that for those same 12 hours, are you get what I'm trying to say? There's going to be far more than the 30,000 that he spent to save 12 hours. Because what he has done with 12 hours will generate a kind of value that will be in excess of 100 times far above whatever it is that they had to spend to save the time. But probably don't think like that. You see, all of these things come mental frame. It's why we don't make the same decisions. It's why somebody would prefer to spend money to buy a car rather than spend money to go and write that other exam, or go and build his mind, or invest it in his child. I know parents today in the community where I am who prefer to buy blocks and start to build a house, and they will not pay school fees for the children. As far as they're concerned, they want the paraphernalia of success so that people can look at them and say, wow, that man is very successful. But not so. So let me quickly now go to the issue of how do I shift mental frames? So I can take a few questions. How do you shift mental frames? It sounds simple. But doing it is where the issue is. You shift mental frames with the power of words. You see, words are so powerfully creative. This whole universe was created with words. You recreate your word with your word. You see, what you listen to is so powerful that if you consistently listen to people from a higher level of thought, people from a much different mind frame, you will discover that your own frame will start to crack up. That is why people change their fortune when they consistently listen to higher thinkers. They listen to people who process thought at a level much higher than theirs. Because what happens is that every time you are listening to material that is higher than you, you are expanding the vision of what is possible for you. You are cracking the foundations of your mental frame. And then you come out. You see, that is why you see there are some people that while they were here, they struggled. When eventually you see them go to another part of the world, after a few years, they look different, they talk different, they produce different. This is somebody who couldn't do much before. Now is doing really well. And then you're wondering what changed. It's not that they pick money on the floor, on the ground of those countries. No, it is that he got into an environment that challenged his mental frame, expanded his vision, and when the mind is stretched on a new idea, it cannot return to its former dimensions. That's what is happening. It shatters and scatters it. You see, that's why attending a conference like this is a very smart and powerful thing to do. You know why? Because it begins to challenge your mental frame. Any kind of result. Look, if you sit up today and you discover that you are worried about how you are going to pay for your house rent, the next one, it is a mental frame problem, because there are people on this same earth with you who don't even bother one bit about rent, about cars, about school fees, about all those other things. They don't have anything more than you do. The only difference is that they are operating from a whole different worldview. They have a mental frame that empowers them to take the kinds of steps that create the millions. You have a mental frame that makes you afraid to. In fact, some people's mental frame restrict them so much so that even the thing that they desire, when it shows up, they squeeze and fold under pressure. They're not able to even step forward and take hold of it, because suddenly they realize that when the desires come, then there is a weakness within. That weakness you think you have is your mental frame holding you back. And that's the problem right there. It's the reason you tell people, go to conferences, attend good schools. If you don't have the privilege of a privileged background to go to a great school, it doesn't matter now. What you need to start to do is that you got to change your circle. You cannot be from a disadvantaged background and then you choose to roll with disadvantaged people. It doesn't make sense. That's double malady. All right. You need to now start to stretch and look. Thank God for technology. Everybody has access to YouTube. You can build your own video catalog and decide who to listen to in the morning, who to listen to at night. All right. And the more you expose yourself to new ideas, new thinking, new possibilities, you discover that your mind frame starts to crack up and you're building brand new frames altogether. And you start to challenge the things that you believed. Things you were taught in Sunday school, things you are taught in the village, things you are taught in school that are restricting you and locking you up. And then you suddenly begin to realize that the foundation, the logic behind all the stuff that you learn is faulty. And so you start to walk away from them. And people will begin to wonder how you have changed. What has happened to you? You're no longer the young man you used to be. I mean, something happened. Yes, my mind stretched. My mental frame was broken. I began to see things quite differently. And so I use time differently. I use money differently. I roll with people differently. And people are wondering what is happening. You are on the path to greatness and power. And that is the one thing you must know. Words are powerful. Expose yourself to words that challenge your thinking, that get you to start to look at the world differently. And that is my challenge to you today. And I'm grateful to these organizers who have put this together. And I hope that all of you will take advantage of it and grow. Thank you very much. At this point, I'd like to quickly take a couple of questions, if there is any, and then I'm ready to go. If there's any question, just write out your question, and then I'm ready to go. Thank you very much. Is there any questions from anybody you'd like me to, because there's a constraint for time. This is an 8 to 9 p.m. session. I got in a little bit late. If there's any question, I'd like to take them now. I'm very happy to take your questions if you have them. Do not forget you have a business to challenge your own mental frames. Crush it. Particularly those of you who were raised in Those of you who were raised in very religious settings, it's time you open your Bibles for yourself and read it differently. Open your eyes to the dawn of spirituality and make sure that faith is a very personal, real thing for you. A lot of people have been locked down by those who seek to control them. People do not grow under those who seek to control them. People grow massively under the people who seek to support them to break barriers and boundaries. If I'm always concerned about your attitude, your behavior, and I'm quick to point out where you are proud, and I'm quick to point out, oh, you're not doing this right, and the other thing, you're not doing that right, you will never grow under me. It's the truth. You grow if I'm concerned about your next big moves. I know you're going to make mistakes. You're a human. You're supposed to make mistakes. You understand? So this is the way it works. Somebody's asking, how do I get included in a circle of high thinkers? Those circles exist all over the place. They are everywhere. You will see people who start WhatsApp group and then they start to have a conversation with folks. When you see those kind of opportunities, get involved. But one of the best ways I want to recommend to you is this. There are a lot of free webinars all over town today. If you are very active on social media, you will see that this webinar taking place, and then you see the caliber of speakers that they are bringing in. All right, some of the speakers have vast experience. Apart from academic or intellectual business experiences, some of those people are pretty steep in strong, powerful philosophies that have shaped their lives. All right, so when you go to these places, ask sensitive questions, try to befriend some of these people, because then they start to bring you into their own clique of folks who think on a much higher level. But you must have a strong center. All right, don't be somebody who is pushed back and forth. Have a strong center, know exactly what you want, who you are. But you know what? Just continue to take advantage of every opportunity like this one. And then stretch. And when there's opportunity for mentorship, you're asked to be mentored. All right. When they say there is this other thing happening, continue to take advantage. You can choose your circle by yourself. All right. This is not a medieval period where they say that, what did they say about the medieval period? There's something they call the Elizabethan chain of being, that a man's station in life is fixed by destiny. There's nothing like that. Now we know that people can move through the strata of the social ladder. Why? Because the more you know, the smarter you get. When you hang around smarter people, you get smarter all the time. And that's the way it is. Thank you. Adela is asking, good evening. My question goes towards, what is the one thing holding people back from moving out of their mental frames, and how can they move forward to break it? If you remember the story of the elephant I told you, the one thing holding people back, okay, what do you think held back the elephant? It is the experience of not being able to get out of that place in spite of repeated efforts in the past. So people are holding on to their experiences. And that is where the challenge is. Experience is not a good teacher. We do not learn from experience. We learn by reflecting on experience. So that you have had a bad experience, there's nothing to learn. You have to sit down and reflect on that experience and ask yourself, what principles did I break? What did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? If you're not reflecting from a situation in your life, you will not learn from it, and you will repeat it again and again and again. So people who discover that they are stuck, like I said, start to listen to new people. Now, let me tell you this. If in the last 10 years of your life, you have been trying to achieve a certain result unsuccessfully, all right, in spite of your best effort, it's not that you are lazy, you're not lazy, you are putting in a good, decent day's work, but you just cannot break the ceilings. Take this advice from me today. Change who you are listening to. I don't care whether it is your church, your community, whoever it is. Change the person you've been listening to, and then you'll see that result. I'm telling you the truth. Some of you are stuck where you are because you think you cannot do without certain people in your life. That is the lie that you tell yourself. The only force a human being cannot live without is a divine force. There is nothing else you can do. The human being, we are adaptation machines. There is nothing we cannot adapt to. You can adapt to the absence of anything and anyone. So when somebody tells you can't do without me and you believe it, that's a lie. How do you think the madmen and the mad women on the street survive? Do you give them food? No. Because adaptation is part of the human nature. They survive. So step out of your comfort zone. Do the things you fear to do. And then you discover that you will no longer fear those things anymore. Try. That thing you always desire, try and fall. But that is how growth happens. When you try to walk, you try and you fall. Then you pick yourself up again. You try and fall. You pick yourself up again. You try and fall. What's happening? Your leg bones are getting stronger. That is how growth happens. Somebody who is afraid of failing will never do anything impactful on this earth, because the failing is necessary to build the muscle you require for the journey ahead. You need the fall. All right, and you must understand that your call is higher than your fall. So it does not matter what challenges you have had in your past, go past it and go and do something incredible. Stop getting stuck with what has happened in the past. That's where depression comes from. Look forward in the future and find out what can I start to do differently beginning from today. And you see these things breaking down. Now, somebody said, my question, is that not the same person? Okay, I just answered that. Is there any other question? So actually, I wanted to ask about certain religious and denominational beliefs. Okay. You wanted to ask. All right. Somebody is saying, okay. Okay. Thank you very much. If you still have any other question, I think I'm happy to take them. Marvelous said you wanted to ask about certain religious beliefs. You wanted to, but you didn't ask it. So there's nothing to pursue there. All right. Okay. If you actually have a question there, I'm happy to take it. Is there any other question? Can I get one more? Okay. Ines is asking, how can one deal with the guilt of when you are trying to break free from your present mental frame? Guilt is a very powerful thing. It's a devilish force. I can tell you that. You know, the guilt that, look, okay, let me say this. And I will say where the guilt is coming from sometimes. There are people who erroneously believe that personality is fixed. All right? They have read Tim LaHaye's book about temperaments, and then they believe that personality is fixed. So they say that, okay, this is the kind of person that I am, so I can't change. That is who I am. Some other people say, well, this is the kind of person I am. I am boisterous. Now let me bust that bubble for you right now. Personality is not permanent. Personality is plastic. It can change. It will change if you want it bad enough. You see, there is a certain kind of personality you require to have to break into certain kinds of territories. You can build those personalities. The problem with people is that the world around them now know them with a certain kind of personality, such that if they now decide to start to act differently from what they are known by, the guilt that this gentleman Kenneth is talking about starts to come in. They begin to feel that, people know me to be like this. If I act like that, they will think I'm pretending. They will think I'm trying to be wayward. They will think other kinds of things. You will have to come to the point where your passion to change will be stronger than your chains. Because that is the only time that you can really and truly make a difference. So, Ines, I want to tell you today, guilt will come, but you must have a passion that is stronger than that guilt. The desire for change should be so strong, it will be like a fight inside of you. You're willing to do whatever you have to do to break through. You must understand that. You see, The word is fluid. This your body here is a container that is holding your consciousness and your spirit. And what some people don't understand, some people think their body is themselves. Your body is not yourself. Your body is not you. Please don't forget that. Your body is not you. So just know one fundamental truth. You are not your body. Okay? So if science tells us that all our cells have changed. So the body you brought into this world as a child is not the body you are having now. That means the person you were physically before is no longer the person you are now. Your whole cells have changed again and again and again, over again several times. So please embrace the new change. If you want it hard enough, you want to re-emerge and be the person that you truly want to be, embrace it with conviction. All right. And like I said, the moment you feel the divine force inside of yourself, you're ready to go. Thank you very much, everybody. Is there a last question I can take? If there is not, good to go. Okay, somebody's asking this important question. He said, how can somebody balance the pursuit of power and greatness in one's life and God's glory? I want you to understand one thing, and this is very important. The primary reason that you were created on this earth is glory, dominion. That is the reason why you came. There are some people that feel guilty when they are pursuing power or when they are pursuing greatness. You see, that is how you were designed by God. God designed you for dominion. In fact, the very first instruction Adam received on earth when God formed him out of the ground and breathed into his nostrils was that go and have dominion. That is just the thing. So you must understand that you are configured to do the extraordinary. As a matter of fact, if you're not doing something extraordinary, that is when you start to feel unfulfilled, you start to feel depressed, you start to feel like something is missing. Now the reason for that is because you were preloaded with potential that should last you forever. But now, for some reason, men will not have to die maximum 120 years. All right. Now, you now have to use all that potential that was initially preloaded to last an eternity for only 120 years. And if you only use a little of it, you start to feel a spiritual constipation. That is why some people come to the end of their lives and they are full of regret, because they begin to feel that there's so much more I could have done. But the reason they couldn't do it is because they had a mental frame that told them you are not supposed to do too much. Your job in this world is to be an usher, serve it, die and go. It's to be a chorister or to be a bus driver. You are here to do far much more, to impact the world. And the only way you balance power and greatness is to balance it on purpose. When you understand that the purpose of power is so that you can bring dominion, bring resources, bring solutions, and bless your world, you realize that you start to use power responsibly. You don't use power to hurt people, to destroy lives. You don't use power to advance yourself in spite of others. The way people use power in a Machiavellian way cannot be your modus operandi. Why? Because you have understood that you have a responsibility to bless the name of mankind. So you are here preloaded with tremendous level of grace and potential so that you can make a difference. So once your eyes are set on your purpose, there'll be a balance between power and glory. But the moment, like somebody says, when the purpose of a thing is not known, then abuse becomes inevitable. So when you don't know why you even have it, that is where problem comes. So people who pursue money at the expense of purpose discover that after they have made the money, their lives become miserable because they have no need for it. Now, the people who find purpose sometimes may not be the richest people in the world, but they end up becoming the wealthiest people in the world. All right? Think of Mr. A, who has 10 billion in his account, and another Mr. B who has only 5 billion in his account. A obviously is richer than B, but Mr. B, who has 5 billion in his lifetime, spent 4.5 billion. All right, touching lives, sending hundreds of thousands of people to school, doing all kinds of things, making the world a much better place. Now, Mr. A has 10 billion and he wants to spend only on himself. How much can you spend on yourself? If you're spending only on yourself, you discover that you cannot even spend up to 1 billion. What do you want to put? You want to buy a house, buy the best kind of whatever it is you want to put out there. You will spend and spend and spend and realize that you can't spend enough. So you now realize this. Mr. A dies spending only 1 billion out of 10 billion. Mr. B dies spending 4.5 billion out of 5 billion. He has lived a more successful life, even though Mr. A was richer. So basically, we tell people, don't chase riches, chase wealth. The kind of lifestyle that allows you to multiply who you are and what you are in the environment around you. That is power. That's glory. So stop seeking to be on Forbes list of the richest people. Be in the list in people's heart of those who have touched them, changed their lives, who have put food on the table, invented technology, who have able to, come up with whole new designs and models that have made life a lot easier. Let it be because of you that some people's life became easy. That the next generation of young people cannot achieve incredible things because of the things that you did, because you pursued your dream. Balance power and greatness on the altar of purpose. Thank you very much. I think that's how much we can take today. It's been a wonderful time speaking with all of you. I hope that you have learned something. I have clearly overshot the time, but I'm happy that you guys were here with me and we have all shared this incredible moment. This conference continues. I want to thank the organizers for the incredible work that they have done. Thank you very much and God bless you all.
Wow. Wow. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson Abeli. You totally disrupted our mind this evening, and there's a whole lot we have to do. Thank you so much. We have been blessed. Our mind has been transformed, and we are deeply grateful. Everyone, please, in the comment section, can we put a round of applause for Mr. Johnson Abeli as he takes his leave? Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's always an enlightening time listening to you. There's always this mental shift. There's something always different, something new to learn. Thank you, sir, for being a source of inspiration to the youth. Thank you for tempering our mind shift, our mental shift, because a lot of us were not used to these messages. But listening to you always has this way of making us know that we can be more and we can do more, and we are ready to emerge and fulfill purpose. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Whoa! Wow. In one word, can you describe the session? Just one word. Drop that word in the comment section. In one word, describe this session. For me, I would say disruption. Hey, this was disruptive. I would say disruption. What is one word you can use to describe tonight's session? Kaya, I feel so fireized. I feel like busting out in tongues. I know this is so important. Think, go deep, and reemerge. Think, go deep, and reemerge. He said something. I wrote it down. He said, you have not met your original you. You've not met the real you. This is not the real. There's still more. When you wake up and you look at yourself in the mirror, what you are seeing is what, he says it is your construct. It is your construct. Something that has been constructed by your environment, by the words you've heard, by the things you've been exposed to. So if you really want to re-emerge, the first thing you must do is to change your mental environment, change people you listen to. And that is why the Evolve Conference 2021 is one summit we need to get all our relations and relative to come and listen. This is just day one. If day one is already sizzling hot like this, imagine how day 2 and day 3 is going to be. Wow. Mr. David says divine and mental transformation. That's 2 words. I see just one word. For me, one word for this last session is disruption. Disruption. Okay, so we've had an amazing time, so we're sorry. We are currently behind schedule. And I had to give Mr. Johnson time because this is exactly 1 hour since he started. So I need to just give him time to fully express himself. And also your questions and answer pushed him to say more. Thank you so much for asking your questions. Thank you so much for engaging in the comment section. We want to especially appreciate the convener of this Evolve Conference 2021 team, the Re-Emergence, Mr. David Akinwale, and all the team that has been working behind the scene to see that this conference is a success. This is what I want everyone to do. The replay for this day 1 is still going to be up. Share the link on your WhatsApp status, share the link on your Facebook, your Instagram, and get your friends to watch it and share your experience. Tag, we're going to be using the Evolve Conference as the hashtag, Evolve Conference, and also the Re-Emergence. All right, so you can use this and also tag ALGA, that is Alpha Global Leadership School. So tag them, tag Mr. David Akinwale. It has been an awesome time. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Promise is incredible. Incredible. It was incredible. Incredible. Yes. I would have said, let's be upstanding as to take our national anthem, but no, you can't see me. But I want you to remember that you are phenomenal, you are exceptional, and you have not yet seen your best you. Your best you is yet to come. And that is why we are at the Evolve Conference, so that the real you can emerge. All right, Mr. David has put up the tag. So tag ALGA Academy, AGLA Academy. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for engaging in the comment section. I remain the host and moderator for this conference, Mac-Ann. That is M to the A to the C to the A to the double N E. Tomorrow promises to be deeper. We're going to go deeper, and we're going to keep reimagining, because at the end of this conference, we're expecting to see a better version of you. God bless you so much. Have a wonderful night rest. Make sure you don't just sleep. Go back, think. Begin to rediscover the new you. What are the visions that God has placed in your mind? This is not the time to shy away from them. Begin to ask yourself, as I am reimagining, who do I want to become? Who am I reimagining to become? All right, God bless you so much. See you again tomorrow. Remember, the time is 7 p.m. The time is 7 p.m. West African time. Thank you so much. God bless you. I love you all. And I remain Mac-Ann. Thank you, Chinanye, for acknowledging the moderator. What we do is not so easy. Good night. God bless you. Go forth and be emerged.